Have you ever felt like the more you give in a relationship, the less appreciated you become? Like no matter how much effort you put in, the other person just doesn't seem to value it. It leaves you questioning yourself, wondering, why isn't this working? If you've ever been in that position, giving, waiting, and feeling overlooked, you're not alone. But here's the truth: sometimes, giving too much only causes others to take you for granted. Real power comes when you step back and focus on yourself. As the famous saying goes, sometimes you have to step back to see who will step up. In this video, we're diving into why pulling away can make them crave your presence, and how self-growth can completely change the dynamic. Lesson 1: the power of self-sufficiency. One of the biggest mistakes people make in relationships is depending too much on the other person for happiness. When you're constantly seeking approval or attention from someone else, you give them control over your emotions. If they pull back, you feel empty. If they don't respond the way you expect, you feel unworthy. This can leave you feeling anxious, constantly wondering, why aren't they giving me what I need? Here's the reality: when you rely on someone else for your sense of worth, you lose your independence. And the more dependent you become, the more they start to pull away. People are naturally drawn to those who are self-sufficient, who can stand on their own 2 feet. As Marcus Aurelius said, "He who lives in harmony with himself lives in harmony with the universe." When you learn to be happy on your own, without needing someone else to fill that gap, you become magnetic. People notice when you don't rely on them for validation, and it makes them value you more. So how do you put this into practice? Start by spending time alone. Pursue hobbies that make you happy. Work on your personal goals, whether that's your career, health, or passions. Build a life that fulfills you, with or without someone by your side. When you do this, not only will you feel better about yourself, but others will naturally be drawn to the confidence and independence you exude. Lesson 2: the shock of your growth. Have you ever felt like someone just expects you to stay the same? Maybe they think you'll always be the one waiting around for them, always available at their convenience. Over time, they start taking you for granted, assuming you'll never change or grow. But here's the problem: if you don't evolve, you let them control the narrative, and they continue to undervalue you. Now, imagine what happens when you stop giving them the same energy and instead focus on yourself. When you grow, level up, and improve, it shocks them. It forces them to take a step back and realize they never really knew you. They start to wonder, how did I miss this? As the saying goes, the best revenge is massive success. Your personal growth is the most powerful response you can give to someone who's overlooked you. When you shift your focus away from them and towards your own life, they won't be able to ignore the changes. Here's how to make this happen. Pick one area of your life to improve, whether it's your health, career, or even a new skill. Start making visible progress. Don't do it for them, do it for yourself. When they see the new, improved version of you, they'll be stunned. But by then, you'll be so focused on your own journey that their reaction won't even matter. Lesson 3: unpredictability creates interest. Have you ever noticed how people often take you for granted when you're too predictable? If you're always available, always responding, and always doing what they expect, they start to lose interest. They stop putting in the effort because they think they've already figured you out. You become just another part of their routine, and that can be frustrating. But here's the truth: when you introduce a little unpredictability into your life, it keeps people on their toes. Suddenly, you're not just the same old person they know. You become a mystery that they want to solve. When they can't anticipate your next move, they start paying more attention and wondering what you're up to. As Albert Einstein once said, "The most beautiful thing we can experience is the mysterious." When you embrace unpredictability, you become more intriguing, and it draws people back to you. They're curious about what's changed and why they can't easily read you anymore. To embrace this lesson, try mixing up your routine. Don't always respond immediately to texts or calls. Take up a new hobby or interest that surprises others. Show that you're growing and changing, and that your life isn't centered around anyone else. This not only keeps people interested, but also reinforces your independence, making them realize just how valuable your presence really is. Lesson 4: absence highlights your value. Have you ever felt invisible in a relationship? You pour your heart into it, yet the other person doesn't seem to appreciate your efforts. When you're always there, giving your time and energy, they might not realize how much you contribute. But when you step back, everything changes. Suddenly, your absence makes them reflect on what they've lost. Think about it: when you're not around, they start to miss the support, the laughs, and the little things you brought to their life. As the saying goes, you don't know what you have until it's gone. This is especially true in relationships. It takes stepping away for them to see your true worth and value. To make this lesson work for you, consider giving them the space to recognize your contributions. Stop being the one who always reaches out or makes plans. Let them experience life without you for a while. Use this time to focus on yourself and your interests. As they start to realize what they've taken for granted, they'll likely come running back, eager to reconnect and appreciate you in a way they didn't before. Lesson 5: Desire to be part of your growth. Have you ever noticed that when you start to focus on your personal growth, some people seem to drift away while others suddenly become more interested? This can be confusing, especially when you've been putting in so much effort to be there for everyone else. But here's the reality: your journey of growth can inspire those around you, and it can also spark jealousy or regret in those who took you for granted. When you invest time in improving yourself, whether it's picking up new hobbies, advancing in your career, or building new relationships, people start to notice the changes. They might think, wow, I didn't realize how much they were capable of. This realization can create a strong desire for them to be part of your journey. They see you thriving, and they don't want to miss out on the exciting things happening in your life. As author and motivational speaker Maya Angelou said, if you don't like something, change it. If you can't change it, change your attitude. By focusing on your growth, you're showing that you can take control of your life, and that energy is magnetic. It draws people in, especially those who might have overlooked your potential in the past. To harness this lesson, commit to your personal growth. Set clear goals for yourself and take actionable steps to achieve them. Share your journey with others when appropriate, but don't seek their approval. When they see you thriving and making strides in your life, they'll naturally want to be part of that positive energy. This shift will help strengthen your relationships and allow you to build connections with those who truly value your journey. Lesson 6: Our confidence forces reflection. Have you ever noticed how your self-confidence can change the dynamics of your relationships? When you feel good about yourself, you naturally draw people in. Conversely, when you're unsure or seeking validation from others, it can lead to unhealthy dynamics and make you feel drained. If you're constantly relying on others to boost your self-esteem, you may end up feeling undervalued or taken for granted. Think about it: when you project confidence, it challenges those around you to reflect on their own insecurities. They might wonder, why do they seem so at peace with themselves? What am I missing? This is where the power of confidence comes into play. As the writer and activist Audre Lorde once said, "I am not free while any woman is unfree, even when her shackles are very different from my own." This quote highlights that personal liberation and confidence can inspire others to confront their own challenges. To leverage this lesson, focus on building your self-confidence through small, everyday practices. Set achievable goals, celebrate your successes, and surround yourself with people who uplift you. When you embody confidence, you not only change how others perceive you, but also how you see yourself. This shift can lead to deeper connections and encourage those around you to reflect on their own growth. Remember, your confidence is not just for you, it can be a catalyst for change in your relationships. Lesson 7: The shock of change. Have you ever experienced a moment when someone in your life suddenly changed? Maybe they started acting differently, pursuing new interests, or simply stopped being available. This shift can be jarring for those around you, especially if they've grown used to your presence being a constant in their lives. If you stay in the same routine without evolving, you risk being overlooked or taken for granted, leaving you feeling unappreciated. When you undergo personal change, it often serves as a wake-up call for others. They may think, what's happening to them? I didn't see this coming. This surprise can prompt them to reassess their relationship with you. As the famous philosopher Heraclitus stated, change is the only constant in life. Embracing change isn't just about growth for yourself. It can also shift how others perceive you and your value in their lives. To apply this lesson, be proactive about your personal growth. Engage in new activities, challenge yourself to learn, and pursue interests that excite you. Share your journey when it feels right, but remember that the focus is on your evolution, not seeking validation. As you embrace change, those around you will have to reckon with the new, vibrant version of you. This shock can create opportunities for deeper connections, as people begin to realize how much they value your presence. Don't shy away from evolving. It's a powerful way to ensure you're never taken for granted again. Lesson 8: Absence highlights your value. Have you ever felt unappreciated in a relationship, like your efforts go unnoticed? It's common to give so much of ourselves that we forget to maintain a balance. When we are always present, it's easy for others to take us for granted. Our absence, however, can create a void that allows others to see just how much we contribute to their lives. If you're always available, people may not realize the depth of your value until you step back. As the writer and philosopher Mark Twain wisely said, "The absence of a friend is worse than the death of a friend." This quote highlights how the absence of someone who adds joy and support can have a profound impact. When you take a step back, it forces those around you to recognize what they've lost, making them appreciate the time and energy you invested in them. To harness this lesson, consider creating some space in your relationships. This doesn't mean disappearing completely, rather. It's about being intentional with your time. Pursue your interests, spend time with other friends, or simply focus on self-care. As you create distance, give others the chance to reflect on the value you bring to their lives. You'll be surprised at how much they might begin to realize your worth and come back with a newfound appreciation. Remember, sometimes absence is the best way to reveal how much you truly matter to those around you. Now we are about the video. Now it is time to change your life. Write down a comment and say that you want to change your life, no matter how difficult it is to change. I will read each of. Your comment features one of the best comments in our channel. If you want a daily dose of unfiltered motivation, subscribe to our channel.